Hi Ma, good morning. Welcome back for today's session. So in the last class we started unit 2 and I discussed about the position of a design in total architecture life cycle and how designing can be done with the help of a art concept, that is attribute what is a driven design. Okay, so how many steps we have totally? We have three steps. One is for decomposition, next to perform requirements gathering, division, interaction, and finally views we have. And the third step is to repeat the same process which we did in the previous class, previous concepts, if there is any problem to make your design. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the two topics now. I think it's a very small topics in total unit. I can say small topics. Okay, one is framing a team structure. One is designing its skeleton system. Team structure. See, after designing, we framed an architecture. It is a time to uh, selection of the team. See, whenever there is a project only, then we can do our selection of the teams, right? So after finalization of this project, we are going to frame an architecture, nothing but the design. Later we are in a position to pick few people or many people based upon your requirement. Okay, so how it is going to be do? What is a methodology? Sorry. What is a methodology we have to be followed in order to select your team? See, author didn't went totally in depth, ma. Okay, didn't discuss about the resources to make it out, the selection of any teams, but he just highlighted the main key points. Okay, nothing is small topic. These two are. See, let us see. Formatting the team structure. When we are going to format the team structure, obviously, whenever there is a completion of designing process, then only if you are able to identify your project completely with total modules, then only we can form a team structure. Okay, that team can be as a combination of many people or combination of sub teams. Both are accepted. That is a possibility. If that is a big project, automatically we can't frame a single team. We have to divide many people in terms of multiple teams. It is also needed for us. Okay, for completion of your architecture successfully. Okay, see this. So this is one of a format I found in internet. Okay, see, if you observe this, we have different type of teams here. Okay, here product delivery, program manager, product management, architecture team, leadership team. So this is one category. This is one category. If you see this, there is a team leader, product owner, architecture owner, specialist, team member. This is one category of team. If we go in depth, we have technical experts, domain experts, independent testers, integrators. So these are all nothing but the supporting teams in terms of your programming. Okay, so this is nothing but the leadership. Who will lead all this? So architecture main person, the product main person, program manager. Okay, if you observe, it is a DAT subsystem. That means a decomposition of your attribute substructure. Okay, so it contains some subteam. So like this, if you observe carefully, we don't have the team member description in our syllabus. Just I got this diagram from the internet and I thought to explain this. So like this, a lot of people are there to divide in terms of different teams for your project. In single team, not possible to include all the people. Okay, see this. So once the first few levels of the architecture module decomposition structure are fairly stable, those modules can be allocated to development teams. So if you feel that, yeah, my modules are finished, my designing is finished, no need to change any modules, no need to club any modules, then I can start allotting this work to sub teams. Okay, so this result is a work assignment view. We know about this. So what is this view? Now we are in a position to work assign, right? So this view will either allocate modules to existing development units or define new ones. It's up to you. Based upon your requirement, you can use a present working development team, or you can choose the any other new team. See, if you have if present team have better experience, and they have better knowledge on present project, go to present team or current team. You feel that we need innovative thoughts from the young ones like you. So automatically we have to make a move to any other new team, right? It is belongs to you. So when the team work is going to start, team assignment is going to start, whenever a design is fulfilled in terms of the different modules collection and the selection. Okay, later you can start your team selection. The teams can be either present team or maybe the new teams. Okay, the impact of an architecture or the development of organizational structure. See, the author want to convey that whether this architecture concept will influence any organizational structure. Organizational structure means the team structure. Of course, obviously. See, for example, I want to construct a big software, okay, regarding everything about the college. They have to maintain the accounts, they have to maintain your attendance, they have to maintain your materials, they have to maintain your marks, results, whatever not. Every detail have to be at one software only. Okay, if it is so, automatically, so it is not possible to allow this work for one or two members, but it should be a big team. I want to allot attendance concept one team, result concept one team, what is your notes, materials, ppts to one team, your account details one team, your extracurricular activities to one team. If it is so, automatically the big architecture is college automatic system or college automation system. So this college automation system architecture is divided in terms of sub modules, in terms of sub teams in our level. What are those teams? Attendance team, marks team, accounts team, external activities team. Okay, the same architecture concept is resemblance to teams also. Teams also, right? So yes, we have the impact of an architecture concept on team structure also. We have to agree that. Let me see this diagram here. Okay, allotted teams are for work on the major modules. Yes, your allocated teams are to work on the major modules, and a work breakdown structure is created that reflects those teams. Yes, your work is going to be divided in terms of multiple teams. Each team then creates its own internal work practices. We know this. So every team has its own work. Of course, even though they have some work, they used to communicate with many people outside their team. Okay, so there should be strong coordination in the internal team, and there is no need of that much strong what is the coordination between inter teams. Inter teams means different teams. Okay, that is like cluster. Hope you remember the word cluster, right? Yes, for large systems the teams may belong to different subcontractors. Yes, so for big project, automatically single team not able to work but have to work multiple teams. Right. The work practices may include items such as what it contains. What it contains means they used to bulletin boards, means they used to exchange some news, web pages for what is the interaction between them, what is the work analysis, what is the project completion time, what is the project models we have. All these can be with the help of a website maintenance. Okay, next, naming conventions for files. How we have to name your files, configuration control system. So these are all needed for your project. So software contains your total information, your communication, the naming, configuration, along with this the allotment of storage, the allotment of the language, the allotment of your what is it, virtual machines concept. So all this comes under this teams structure. Okay, teams within organization work on modules. Yes, teams within an organization work on modules. Yes, they will do. So they will do. See this, the repetition of the same concept. So within the team there needs to be high bandwidth communication, as I said previously. In cluster there is a need of strong bandwidth. Okay, strong relationship, strong bonding. Like this, what they are saying, within the team, if your work is dispersed or working on distributed system, automatically there is a need of high bandwidth for any of team members, but no need of that much bandwidth or bonding between different teams. Okay, so much information in the form of detailed design decisions is being constantly shared. Of course, we have to share that information between teams. Low bandwidth communication are sufficient and in fact crucial. Yes, highly complex system result when this design criteria are not met. If your bandwidth means the bonding is not enough within the team, then it turn into high complex systems. It is tough to maintain your project without the team's cooperation or team's coordination, right? So for that we have to maintain good communication or rapport or bonding or bandwidth, whatever within the team. That's very need. Okay, see, why does the team structure mirror the module decomposition structure? Just we gone through the example. One architecture is nothing but the collection of modules. One project is nothing but the collection of team members along with the teams. So like it's only giving answer for that question, right? If you see this diagram, a single system is divided in terms of subsystems. Subsystems again divided in terms of modules. Each module is nothing but a program or a routine. So how it is going to do? The same thing is going to be done. So in the high level, there is a project manager is there. Next, project sub-managers will be there. Later, team leaders will be there. Later, project assistants will be there. Right? Later, project system analysis will be there. Maybe the project assistant manager or system analyst will working on the same level. There is a possibility. Right now, the same, yes, it is a mirror only. Right? The module is a user interface layer of a system. So the high level module is nothing but user interface. Just we know that it is a single module, a single project. The user have knowledge on the single module. But if you go into depth of this concept, we will came to know about the different subsystems, the division of a module. Yes. So the module is a process scheduler that hides a number of available processors and the scheduling algorithm. Yes. So with that module, the user is not able to know hidden information regarding the scheduling process, number of works allotting. So the module is a physical models module. Yes. What's the module we can say? Physical models module. Yes, PMM. Creating now. So after completion of this third topic, we have to make a creating a skeletal system. See, in the 2.1 we learn about what is the designing position in your architecture life cycle. In the second one, how to design your architecture. Okay, the third step after designing, how we have to allocate the teams. The teams picture resemblance to the module decomposition concept only. Main concept, subdivision. After designing this, after allocating the work to the teams, now it is a time to creating a skeletal system. What is skeletal system? See, just imagine our body. I will show you. This is our body structure, right? Okay, just imagine without this bone or skeletal system, can you able to withstand on a floor? Without bones, can you sit? After sitting, can you stand? Can you move your hands like this? Can you move your head like this? No, it's not possible, because in the inside of our body there is a big skeletal system which helps us to withstand our body parts, to give some image to us. Okay, some with hands, legs like this. So this is nothing but a skeletal system. So for our project also, there is skeletal system means first try to develop a normal project. Normal means your project, the temporary project. Try to test it on different inputs. After that, try to evaluate the performance of this your project. If the performance is according to your requirement, it is met, automatically just throw the skeletal system and start developing your original project like a previous skeletal system, as you got some idea, got some experience, right? So that is the main theme of this skeletal system concept. It's playing a vital role in developing any projects. Okay, see this. Once an architecture is sufficiently designed and teams are in place, yes, architecture is ready and teams are in place to begin building to it, a skeletal system can be constructed. Yes, we can start. So classical software engineering practice recommends any software company will recommend always the skeletal system, because they are going to using a stubbing out. What is stubbing out is the unused part. So for example, we used to what we can say an example. Yeah, we have a tree, right? We have a tree. So that tree contains many parts like leaves, stems, fruits, vegetables, like this they will come. So after the usage of this tree, whenever it is not useful to us, automatically what we do, so we used to cut some stems and we used to select the very important part to us, the remaining we will throw out, right? So we are using that. So like this, the stubbing out means the unused part which can't be used to us further. Here also they want to frame a skeletal system which is not going to be used by us later. It is only used for testing. Okay, so after testing perfectly, we have to throw it out. That is implemented by every software company to start their project. Okay, first implement the software that deals with the execution and interaction of architectural components. Just try to verify the interaction between the components. So further, what it requires? Further, this will require, always we need scheduler, the selection of the module. Okay, engine to process the work and all with the control. Okay, process synchronization, that is a parallel synchronization or thread synchronization, you have to check for this. Okay, next basic interaction. Sorry, I missed first. Basic interaction mechanism, how they have to interact with each other with the help of a software, any middleware, means virtual machines they want to use, because all systems are not in the same configuration. To hide that compatibility problems, automatically we have to install above our software an application called as a virtual machines, so that they are going to hiding that compatibility problems, right? Implementing client server coordination in a client server system. If there is a client server coordination, we can do. If it is a distributed system, we need a client server. Okay, it is up to you. And finally, on top of this communication or interactions infrastructure, you may wish to install all simplest of functions. So after the communications, we have to start the execution of your functions. Okay, so after completion of this, means you are ready, your scheduler is ready, the process is ready, your communication is ready, your interface is ready, okay, your modules are ready. Then what you have to do, what you want to perform? See this. Choose which of the elements providing functionality. We have to start from which we have to opt to start our functionality. Which model I have to start first? Based upon we have to give some importance. What is the importance, or how we can filter this importance, we will see. The choice may be based on lowering risk by addressing. So which module you want to execute, so that our project will give the better results, we can test. Okay, next, or it may be based on the levels and types of staffing available. See, if the any team is confident about their module, we can start from them. Okay, or we can say, or it may be based on getting something useful to market, or we can check it. Yes, we can very what is it, confident enough to throw it or to introduce into the market. Okay, if it is we can start execution of these modules or skeleton system. Yeah, once the elements providing the next increment of the functionality have been chosen, you can employ the user structure. Yes, once your modules are ready and teams are ready and your choice is ready, now we can start your use cases. Means, yeah, we can give some input to the system and you can get some output. Based upon you can test. Okay, example. So any company must see our Microsoft, the total Microsoft is the biggest company, we can say, like Google. So it also prefers a skeletal system only. See this, In Microsoft version of this approach, a complete skeletal system is created early in the product's life cycle and a working but low fidelity version is rebuilt a frequent periods, often nightly. Means it is also working on the skeletal system, and based upon it the working will start overnight. Okay, so this results in a working system for which the features can at any time being judged sufficient and product rolled out. Yes, so based upon this the features is going to be finalized and they can start working on that. Okay, so this is nothing the skeletal system. So with this our today topic is over, and first part of the unit 2 is over. In the first part we have 4 topics, right? Designing position, designing an architecture, team structure, and finally skeletal system. So 4 topics are over. So in the next class we will start the part 2 of unit 2, right? So till then, hi ma, bye bye.